Don Mazzella here again for Small Business Digest. Well, we have with us today what promises to be one of the more interesting guests, Vesna. Now, this is where I'm going to hopefully do it right. DeChesnik. DeChesnik. Did I pronounce it close?
No, but that's fine. It's still Jozovic.
Okay. All
Yes.
right. Uh, I'm just going to say Vesna from now on. But
Yeah,
anyway,
just
welcome to the program because we have a lot to talk about.
wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I really do.
All right. Well, then, as we ask all our guests, first, tell us a little bit about yourself personally, then how it all led to your company, and then finally, where people could learn more about you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Don. For starters, I'm going to talk about how I got to personally where I came from. So I was born in a former Yugoslavia. We immigrated, all seven of us, with my parents. There's five kids. I'm the oldest of five. We immigrated right before the war in Kosovo. I was born in Kosovo. My mom is from Kosovo. My dad is from Montenegro, and we were lucky enough to come to this beautiful country and as immigrants. And I tell people it's the best country on earth if you want to build your dreams, build a company, do whatever you need to do. I think this is I'm certainly blessed, and I couldn't thank God enough every day of my life for being here. So I came in at the age of 15 with two words of English. And we landed in Florida. Let me tell you something, Don. When I saw palm trees, I thought I was in heaven. I'm like, holy cow, I just landed in heaven. It was just beautiful. The first retailer I ever walked in was Kmart, when Kmart was phenomenal, and you see the big popcorn machine and all these great things. And I was in love. I was in love with the American dream. I was in love with everything that America had to offer. We quickly enrolled into high school with literally two words of English, and we picked it up within 3 months. We could communicate. So I graduated high school, got married, moved away, moved to New York, continued my education, then moved to New Jersey. Still went to Rutgers. I studied biology, minors in chemistry and political science. My goal was to go to med school or law school, and as you can see, Don, I didn't make it to either one. uh, but I actually took a leap of faith. I took a summer off from Rutgers out of Newark, and I wanted to see, okay, which path am I going to go? And a recruiter called me and said, hey, there's a position available. Would you like to try it out? And I said, sure. So that's how I started in this industry. I started working for a small company called PCG out of Montvale, New Jersey, working on wet ones wipes. So that's kind of how I started my career. And then fast forward, Playtex acquired us, so we became part of Playtex. And then when I worked for Playtex, I helped in Baby Magic and Banana Boat and Wet Ones and pretty much everything that you could think of. And then from Playtex, I went to Reckitt Benckiser, which would be your Lysol people. I worked for Lysol for many years. I have a patent with Lysol. I enjoyed it. And then from Lysol, I chose to move to Cincinnati, Ohio. And I worked for Jergens, which is KO Brands now, for many years. I worked on John Frieda, helped with Friezese. I worked on help with Jergens Glow. And then I resigned in 2007, moved back to Michigan as a single parent with my son. And I literally started my journey. I bought my company December 1st of 2010, and I walked in December 2nd of 2010 and never looked back. Oddly enough, this journey wasn't easy. I had $18 left to my name when I bought my company. I remember the first time I went on unemployment, Dawn, it was very, very emotional. As an immigrant, as a woman, I pride myself in supporting my son and myself. And it was really, really difficult because in 2008, 2009, it was difficult for everybody. And I found myself without a position in the state of Michigan. So I had to figure out what am I going to do? So the gentleman who owned Reforma Group prior to me owning it called me up and said, hey, I heard you're in Michigan. You're a formulator. Do you want to work for me? And I said, no. He said, do you want to become my partner? I said, no. He's like, do you want to buy me out? I said, put it in writing. And as they say, the rest is history. So it took me 8 months to acquire my business. The first time I got declined by the bank, mind you, and then I fought for it. So I am a true believer in this life that if you truly want something badly enough, you have to fight for it. And you have to work harder than anybody else. And I did. I walked in December 2nd, and I never looked back. If I had to work 7 days a week, which I did, and I worked 16, 18-hour days, I did, from doing payroll to doing the manufacturing to filling to labeling to capping, anything that I needed to do to make sure that my customers got deliveries and they got them on time. That's what I did. Fast forward, we moved from 3,000 square feet. About a year and a half later, we moved into 20,000 square feet. A year and a half later, we bought another 85,000 square feet. So currently, we're rocking and rolling, as I like the term. I absolutely love every single second of it. It is truly my passion. I love doing what I do. I love my customers, my team, my family. I could not be more thankful that I am in a position that I am. And I also always use this term that Steve Jobs said. You can always connect your dots looking backwards, but you can never connect your dots looking forward. And it just taught me that every single position I held, every single human that I had met through my journey had brought me to where I am at this moment. So currently, we obviously have over 100,000 square feet. We develop and manufacture consumer products, from skincare to hair care to body care, pet care. We're actually growing our household division. And it's been such an amazing journey. I cannot stress how lucky I feel. And I hope to inspire other entrepreneurs and other women and other business people to just follow your dream and believe in yourself. That's key number one. Um, what I've learned is you got to believe in you for others to believe in you. And when you do that, you work harder than anybody else, and you just have to love what you do. So those are the three things that I actually love about my journey.
Okay, let's stop here. I've got several questions. First one is, what's your website?
It's reformagroup.com.
Can you spell it out?
It's R as in Robert, E, F as in Frank, O as in Oscar, R as in Robert again, M as in Mary, A as in Apple, group, GROUP.com.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you a wild question. What were the two words that you knew when you came here?
Haha. Thank you and please.
Okay. And
Yes.
now, so stopping there, uh, you're a manufacturer for other people. Is that what you do?
Yes. So the company Reforma Group, what Reforma Group is a we call manufacturing or private label of consumer goods and households. So what Reforma Group does and what my team and I do is we develop and build brands for others, and we love doing things from concept to market. Anything like, for example, we will tell Don, if you came to us and said, hey Vesna, I want to launch a brand, awesome, we would help you from developing your concept to developing your formulating your formulas to sourcing all of your packaging to getting your labels to getting you compliant, making sure all your regulatory and your label is compliant, all your claims are substantiated, all of your studies are done, from stability to compatibility to all of your things that are necessary for a brand to launch successfully and be have a stable brand. We would source your bottles, we would get your boxes, every single thing. All I tell people we would need is a purchase order and we could deliver. So that's what Reforma Group does. Literally, we do everything from concept to market.
Hmm. Well, believe it or not, you're the first company like yours to appear on this show, and we've been around for 20 odd years. So
Oh,
we're going to, uh, rather than do what we originally said, I'm going to do what people have been asking me for years. Can we talk a little bit about? I'm a young woman who has an idea for a product. and then I come to you and I say, uh, I need help. Okay.
Yes.
What are some of the questions you ask of someone who comes to you for a new product?
So a couple of things I ask when I meet, and I have a very I'm obviously I'm woman owned 100%. Um, I have a strategy to my madness, Don. I did this my way, is what I tell people. And I tell women all the time, it doesn't matter what you want to do in your life, just do it. It's Nike. Nike said it best. Just do it.
Hmm.
So, what I usually like to ask is, where do you see yourself? What do you want to do with your brand? Is it something that you want to build, grow, and sell? Is it something that you want to just support yourself and your family? Because the strategies are different, Don. If you want to build a company or a brand to sell, you got to be out there. You have to be everywhere that you can be so you can take market share and people can recognize where you're at and they can see you. If you want to build a brand to keep, there's a different strategy. You don't go, I call it gangbusters, and you don't spend money in marketing and things like that. You slowly build it. So there's a few questions that I right off the bat want to know about my clients. For example, the retailers that I work with, I know what their strategy is. They want great product, they want quality, they want shipment on time, and as long as it sells, you have the, as long as it sells and you can deliver, that's all that they're looking for. But building a brand is very, very passionate and personal to each and every individual. For example, people who have dogs, they love pets, so they come to us for pet care. There's just different ways to build things. And it's all about the person and what they want to do. So for me, I want to get to know the thing that I love about humans and people. I want to get to know the person first. And I want to know them and who they are, where they come from, and what they want to do. And then I will take it from there and just start asking questions. Where do they want to sell? What's their distribution model like? And why are the main thing is why do they want to build a brand or a company? That's really the most important thing. Because in the end, what I've learned in my short journey, and I have a lot to learn, when I know it sounds cliche, but if you follow your passion, money follows. People feel your energy. People want to work with amazing people. People want to work with great people who want to do great things. So people feel that. So that's what I tell women and all of my customers. Just love what you do. And if you do, I promise you it will work. So that's kind of what I want, what I learn. I get to know my customers personally first and what their journey is and where they want to be and where they were at and why they're doing what they're doing. And then I help them take the brand, or I help them launch the brand, or I help them build the brand, whatever it is. I
Hmm.
hope that answers your question.
Hmm. Well, I have a lot more because
Okay.
no, because let's talk about hand creams
Yes.
as an example. Uh,
Hmm.
how do you get? I come to you and I have a formula. I want to use avocado for just for
Yes.
example, and I want to create an avocado brand. Um, but I can create the brand, but how do you get it in onto the shelf of the supermarkets? How do you get it on the shelves of the drugstores? You know that's a problem. And what I've discovered over the years, well, let's say we've been in this show now 23 years. What I've noticed in that time is most people don't know where to even begin with something like that. What
And
say to them?
so here's kind of where one of the things that I have learned, you can have the greatest product on and you hit the nail on the head. It's not about the product, it's about your marketing and your distribution. Key, right? So one of the things is I mean, think about it. I started this in this industry, Don, when I was about 20, 23 years old. That's almost 30 years ago. Okay. It was different back then. It's a hell of a lot easier now, if you think about it, with Amazon and Instagram and TikToks and all these things. But if you really want to build a brand, there's a couple of ways to do it. Okay. If you start out something and you come to me and say, hey, Vesna, I want to build an avocado hand cream and I want the avocado to be my hero ingredient, you build a story around it. Okay. And then again, it's all about marketing. If you have a marketing budget, then we go and we say, okay, for example, let's start with Amazon. That's easy. Let's start a social media. And then once you have a little bit of traction, Don, honestly, the retailers want brands that are making money, that are out there. So it's a little bit easier. And me having the contacts, some of the contacts that I have, if a brand is interesting enough and it's doing well and the media loves it and it has the consumer following, I've been known to go to my buyers and say, I have this brand and you should look at it. So there's different ways of doing things now. It's just understanding, to your point, who to partner with. The hardest thing in life is finding someone who's willing to spend the time to help you build it. And because I have been so blessed and people have given me the time and people have helped me through my journey, I'm one of those women that I want to give back. I want to help other women and other people build their businesses and their brands. And one thing that I've learned, and one thing that I say to all of my people and my customers that come to meet with me, don't think this is going to be a slam dunk and it's going to be an overnight success. It's hard. Success is a difficult journey. People don't realize no one gets to the top without working really hard, paying your dues. And I could attest to it. Even though I've owned my company 15 years, I still work 7 days a week. I cannot stress how important that is for people to realize. If you truly want something to be a success, everyone, you will find the universe will align you with humans and people to help you get there. It's just you have to be willing to do it. And that's what I kind of learned about people. And one of the things that I learned with people, Don, is when you meet people, you can see the ones who truly want to build something, and you can see the ones that are just saying, okay, Vesna, I've seen this brand, like for example, Drunk Elephant. This woman built it out of Texas, that she sold it for almost $1 billion. I want to do the same thing. So I have to kind of pull them back, Don, and say, okay, here's what it takes to build that. Are you willing to go all in? So that's, for me, that's how I would help entrepreneurs and other women and other people who want to build brands. First things first, you have to be willing to sacrifice and do the work, and then the rest, I will help them either get into a retail shelf or help them maybe get into Amazon. That's how you start, and then it keeps going. So I hope that helps answer your question.
It starts it. I'm going to ask you a
Sure.
very intrusive question. Um, Working 7 days a week and having a son, how do
Yes.
you maintain a relationship?
It's so the other piece of life is this. I'm one of those women that I believe that a lot of, when you hear a lot of women don't talk about, you can have it all. You can, but there's sacrifice, if it makes sense. My son is, I've been blessed enough to have such an incredible family around me. Him and my father have an amazing, amazing relationship, and I'm so thankful and blessed. My mother. So one of the reasons that I did move to Michigan, and I resigned from Jurgens in 2007, is because I wanted my son to have that family structure. Crucially important for kids to have that. I have, needless to say, with everything that I've done, I'll tell you a funny story. When my son was 14 and 15 years old, um, what he said to me. It's hard when you're a single parent to do what I do every day and to raise an incredible child like I have, and to have an amazing family and to have such amazing employees. I can't thank God enough that every morning that I walk in through my facility, I say good morning to each and every single one. And Don, they drive me to build my company bigger and better every day because they're such amazing human beings. Going back to my son, I remember we were driving home one night and he said, Mom, he made a comment from a 14-year-old. They're very impressionable, right? He's like, how am I going to do this? He said, when you leave this earth, for example, because you're just so amazing with people. And that took me back because as a parent, when you're working as hard as you're working, you're just taking every moment that you can to just make sure they're fine, right? Yet, what I've learned with from my son, I have learned tremendous amount. They're watching you. Even though you may not be there 100% of the time, they are watching you. They're watching your work ethic. They're watching what you're doing. They're watching what you're building. And really, truly, if you want your children to be a success and achieve things and be amazing humans, you are their role model. So, as much as I sacrifice the time with him, I feel like I have been able to give him something that even when I'm not here, he's going to go back and look at it and say, if my mom could do this, even though she wasn't able to spend as much time with me, I can do this. And part of an immigrant and part of as a woman business owner, as a parent, you want to give your children more than what you've had in life. So if you think about it, Don, we came to this country at the age of 15. There were seven of us. We lived in a two-bedroom apartment. My dad was a painter. My mother would knock on doors and ask people to clean their house so she can make money. It was like it was the most. I get emotional when I think of my parents' journey. So for me and my son, he got to experience, I think, the best of both worlds. He was born in America, but yet he had such an incredible family structure that as much as I wasn't around, he never like it wasn't like a hole, if it makes sense, because there was someone there with him constantly all the time. So it's not an easy journey, I'm not going to lie to you. It's something that as a woman, as a mom, it's a tough one. So I relate to a lot of mothers who have dreams, Don, who choose to maybe put their dreams in the back burner for a minute to do what they need to do. So um, that's just for me. I'm so passionate about helping any woman that comes my way to just say, you know what, whatever you do, if it's just little steps. So
Uh, well, two things. One, I'm the son of an immigrant, so I know how you feel. But
yeah,
more importantly, I guess the question is also um, immigrants have an advantage. They seem to have family supporting them more so than Americans of two or three generations. Have you seen that? Certainly, entrepreneurially, they tend to go out there and succeed. Do you see that?
yes. And again, I mean, I go back to where I came from. I know that a lot of people think that being, I speak the language, I'm educated, all of these great things that I've done and we were able to do, but we value certain things when you come. Again, I go back to this great country, and I'll give you the reason I call it a great country, Don, is I'll tell you, um, I didn't go back to my country, to Kosovo, for many, 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 many years. Okay. When I went back, I had bought my company. I had built the company, and I went back, and I remember I landed the night before Easter. I woke up on Sunday morning and I looked around. I literally got emotional. I remember calling my mother and thanking her for taking us out of there.
Hmm.
And I will never forget that feeling. And can I be honest with you? I literally called my office manager. I was supposed to stay 3 weeks, and I said, please change my ticket because I want to come back home. I feel like when you as an immigrant, as a human, um, when you have the opportunity to come to this country, the most amazing place I've experienced, and I've traveled. I've been blessed enough to travel. And I still come back and I feel like I'm home when I land. I literally say, thank you, God. The immigrants are people that think about it. I mean, I went to Switzerland a couple of years ago with my son, and we have states that are larger in the United States than some of these countries that we visit. So if you think of the opportunities that this country has to offer, the immigrants take the opportunities. For me, it didn't matter if I had to work 7 days a week, Don. It didn't matter that I was working 14, 16-hour days. What mattered to me is that I had the opportunity to give my son a better life. I had the opportunity to give my parents a better life. I had the opportunity that God has given me to be here, to lead amazing people that I support every day of my life, that they support their families. That's how I look at it. And that to me is not just me, it's every immigrant that comes to this country that builds something. We see things that we were never able to see where we came from. I've only been back home, back to Kosovo twice since I've been here, and it will be 40 years. Um, the reason that I say that is I love where I come from. I love my culture. I take the best out of my culture. I've been raised by phenomenal parents. I am so thankful for them taking the opportunity and the risk to come in. Uh, but for me, this I feel like this is home.
Hmm.
This is where I belong. So
Well, on that note, we only have a minute uh, so left. Uh, First off, give us your website again.
it's reformagroup.com, and it's reformagroup.com.
Okay. And what would you like to say to end uh, our time together?
Repeat the question again, Don. I'm sorry.
What would you like to leave our audience with?
Um, what I would love to leave our audience with is I wish everyone the journey that I've had, the journey of an entrepreneur, the journey of being an amazing, having the amazing opportunities that I've had with all the retailers that they have given me such amazing opportunities to build a company. I wish everyone would follow their dream, and I wish them all the joy and all the passion and things that life has to offer. Life is such an incredible journey, Don. If you just, and it's not an easy journey, is what I always like. I'm going to leave my, hopefully, the listeners with is this: it's not an easy journey. However, it is such an amazing journey, and it's so worth it every single moment of your life. And there's a lot of things that are going to come your way. But um, following your dream and becoming and supporting other people and being in a position of just being where you dreamt you want to be, it's the best feeling on earth.
Well,
So
on that note, we're going to have to say thank you for really illuminating time.
thank
Thank
you. Thank you, Don. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to all of your listeners, I wish them so much success, health, and love in this life.